All right. We're going to work this thing out eventually.
One way or another.
Yeah.
We're figuring it out.
I was like, hey, what's up, people? It would help if I unmute the mics. And so, yeah. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us for Midweek Motivation. We're constantly, if you can't tell, we're constantly like upgrading stuff.
Changing it up.
Yeah. Because we want to bring the best possible show that we can. And so we're actually in our studio.
First week in the studio.
First week in the studio. Now don't come look at it. No, don't come look at it right now. Let us clean up a little bit.
Let's keep that fourth wall up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're working on it, man. And so I just again want to welcome you guys here to Midweek Motivation. Thank you all so much for joining us each week. Listen, if you're watching with us right now, I do want to encourage you. Go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is you need to do.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah, all
everything.
of it. Turn on your notifications.
Share it.
Yes, definitely share it right now.
Turn on your notifications so when we actually set it up to send notifications, you get them.
Why are you calling me out, man? Listen, if you guys would have seen the mess that I had this morning trying to get this ready for us today, and then we had a cable go bad, and so it's always something with Midweek Motivation.
Yeah.
I feel like
I got text messages from Carly at 5:30 in the morning.
5:30.
What is this dude doing?
Hey man, I'm trying to go ahead and get it out early. This Facebook, if you're on Facebook with us, I can't get the comments to pull up. I'm trying. I want to give you guys a shout out. Hey, there we go. Hey, Sarah, good to have you. Says we got some others watching as well. If you're on the app, go ahead, let us know that you're there. I'll try to keep refreshing it. Brandon can keep refreshing it. Listen, Midweek Motivation, what is it? Real conversations with real people about a very real God And one of the things that we address, and I feel like this should be a part of the show somehow or another, we address real issues that we face. Yeah, I don't want this just to be like a session where we preach.
Right.
That's not what I'm about. I mean, I love preaching, don't get me wrong, but I want us to be able to work through some things that many of us struggle with. Like we had somebody say a couple of weeks ago, why don't we talk about anxiety? And then just yesterday, I actually had an opportunity to have a phone conversation with someone who was having, I don't want to say an anxiety attack, but they were struggling in that moment.
Yeah.
And so that just reminded me that, man, we gotta have this conversation. We gotta begin to talk about some other things. And so, I'm excited. Again, this is Midweek Motivation. Go ahead, share this on your page, like, subscribe. If you have not done so, download our app.
Yeah.
I'm updating the app a couple times a week. We have everything that we need on there. And so, go ahead, download the app, turn on those notifications. It'll send you a push notification if I remember to set it up. Thanks, Brandon, for the shout out. I'm not even going to call it a call out. I'm going to call it a shout out.
Shout out.
Hey, listen, I forgot to get them from the cafe, but you guys don't forget to be looking for Lil John. Yeah. Hannah Phillips has found him twice now. Like I feel like there should be a limit. Like, is somebody giving her an idea where he is at? I don't know.
She also probably spends the most time out of anybody non-staff related in
At
this
the
building.
church,
So
yeah.
she's
True
got time to
statement.
look.
But you can't punish her for watching the show every week.
True statement.
Right?
True statement. And she does watch every week. You know, she might not watch it like live, but she's watching the show every single week. So that's great to me. I love that. Listen, if you're, again, let us know in the chat that you're here. I don't have it pulled up right now. I got the notes pulled up just so I can make sure I don't forget anything at the beginning here. And it looks like my notes didn't completely update.
I think those are the notes from last week.
Yeah,
or
these
the
are
week
last
before or
week's.
something.
Yeah, so we're gonna get it together. There we go.
Flying blind.
Wait.
Hey, the real
Hey,
conversations with real people.
That's right, man. That's right. So yeah, be on the lookout for Lil John. He's going.
That gets me every time.
He's gonna be around here. He's gonna be around here somewhere. We'll be sure to hide him.
Now, what do they got to do? They got to mention the show topic, or do they got to mention just midweek motivation?
So I think they should mention the topic.
I think so too.
Which, I mean, it's pretty easy right now because we've been on the same topic for a while now. So yeah, mention midweek motivation and the topic, which right now we're still talking about worship. And so yeah, go ahead and do that. And listen, I got a special treat for you guys. Yeah, y'all ready for this? We got to show my man Sean some love. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Oh man,
Just for you, Sean.
Yeah, that's for you, Sean. I love that. Listen, I got some really good, exciting news. We're starting out really good, exciting news. Man, what a phrase.
Grammar is not your news.
No, it is not. We're starting our Good Neighbor Tour. That's what I'm gonna call it. Our Good Neighbor Tour next week, and so make plans to join us live from Chris's Coffee at noon next week. We're gonna have an amazing time. We're gonna get some
I'm
coffee.
excited.
Maybe get some lunch. And we're going to be talking with Beth there at Chris's Coffee just about how she is being a good neighbor and how she can motivate us to also be a good neighbor. And so join us next week at Chris's Coffee. Come in person. And here's the deal. I'm a little jealous here. 2 people will have the opportunity to get something free, whether it's lunch or coffee. That was something I mentioned to Beth, and she was like, you know what, I'll match that.
Awesome.
So we're going to cover
1 and 2 right here.
Yeah.
You better beat us.
So I don't know exactly yet. It might be like the 10th customer or something like that gets it free with a shout out to Midweek Motivation. So thank you, Chris's Coffee, and for
awesome.
Megan lining that up for us. This will be the first of many on our Good Neighbor Tour. And so we're really excited about that. So don't miss that. Chris's Coffee next Wednesday at noon. We're just praying that all the equipment works. That's why we've upgraded a lot of stuff, is so that it's really mobile. And so we're gonna pray that everything works.
We've got stuff working like 90%, and then we're gonna unhook everything and take it somewhere else.
Y'all be praying about that.
Yes, please. That's your homework for this week.
A whole week of prayer. That's what we
pray
need.
for us.
Yeah.
And look, we just got all kinds of cool things that are happening. Like, I'm so excited about this show, about the team that we have. John's unable to be with us. Our youth, they're actually doing a Halloween hike. Isn't that what they're calling it? Halloween hike tonight.
Something like that.
And so, man, if you got some teens, you got middle schoolers, high schoolers, bring them out here tonight for the Halloween hike. I think it starts at 6.
What was
I
that
believe.
Pastor Mike said on Sunday? Drop them off at the dumpster.
Drop them off at the dumpster. There's nothing sketchy about that at all. But it's going to be great. They've been out here working yesterday. They're working all day today, getting things ready. And so John, one of our other team members, he isn't here. And then Megan does a lot for us behind the scenes as well. And she's actually the one overseeing our Good Neighbor tour. And so shout out to Megan for that. But one more really exciting thing before we really dive into the meat today. I want you guys to text Motivate to 540-900-3838. But another thing that you can do,
new things.
you can call that number and we can actually patch you in live on the show.
Awesome.
That is so cool to me. And so at the end of the show, we're gonna maybe give it a shot, and maybe you got questions, or maybe there's a topic you want to discuss, or maybe you just want to jump online and just share your heart, share what God's doing with you. Again, that number is 540-900-3838. It should be there on the bottom of your screen. Yes, it's on the bottom of the screen. So text that number, text Motivate. During the week, if you need prayer or whatever, text that number. We're all set up on that now. And man, we're here for you. We want to motivate you beyond just midweek motivation on Wednesdays. And so you can actually call that number at the end of the show. We'll try to open it up for a time of phone conversations, and we'll go from there. That's pretty exciting.
I love it.
Or even if you've got something good going on in your life,
Yeah.
let us know. That'll
Yeah.
motivate us to
Motivate
motivate others.
us, motivate others. That's
We wanna hear
again.
those wow God stories.
Yeah,
That was
those
tough
God
to
winks.
say.
Wow, God,
Yeah.
wow, I got.
Wow.
Man, it's got you speechless over here.
That's how excited I am about it.
Yeah. So again, you can call that number later on in the show, and we're gonna give it our best shot. This will be our first time doing it. We tested it last week after the show. It's pretty stinking awesome. And so I think that's all that I have before we dive into the show. So how about you guys?
No, we're good.
Let's open her
Let's
up.
start it up.
All right. So let's start the show today. Welcome again to Midweek Motivation, where we have real conversations with real people about a very real God. And in these conversations, as I said earlier, we talk about real life struggles. And when it comes to faith, and today we want to continue talking about worship. So far, we've asked the question, what is worship? We're not going to dissect all of that again. We've asked the question, what is worship? What do you worship? And then today, we're going to continue our talk about how do you worship? How do you worship? And so right now in the chat, I'm going to pull the chat back up in just a minute, but how do you worship? I want to hear from you. How do you worship? We've been talking about this a little bit, and Brandon, we're going to get to you in a minute. So if you guys didn't notice last week, I kept saying, John, you worship golf. Cody, you worship hunting. And then I was like, Brandon,
I froze up.
like I had nothing.
I went blank.
So let me lead off with, I guess, the scriptural answer in a way to this question, and then we're going to talk some more about this. But how do you worship? Well, I want to read John chapter 4, verses 23 and 24, and here's what it says. But the time is coming, indeed it's here now, when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. The Father is looking for those who will worship him that way. For God is spirit, so those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth.
I love that, man. And like what jumps out to me is "and" is a big word in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not spirit or truth
It's both.
or and or.
Yeah.
It's a and.
And I think that's
You
where
gotta do
a lot of
both
people
ways.
miss it. Like,
I struggled there for years.
Even me.
yeah.
It's, you worship kind of one or the other, worship in a way where it's either spirit or it's truth instead
Yeah.
of doing both of them.
Definitely. Like I'm with you 100% there. And like Cody said, you know, he struggled with that. And so what does this mean to you? What does this look like for us worshiping in spirit and truth? So you guys, we've been on this topic for a few weeks now. And so we've had time to think about it. And Brandon, just the other day, you told me, we were at lunch at the church, and you told me that you've been trying to figure out like how do you worship, or what do you worship? And you said it finally hit you. And so I just want you to kind of share with us today what that was, and like how you discovered.
Well, it was one of those things where it's, you know, like with Cody, it's hunting, and it's, you know, pretty obvious.
Yeah.
With me, it's just something I didn't really recognize or see.
Yeah.
But, you know, after I froze up, I started watching myself, and just to see what it was that I paid the most attention to, and a lot of it, you know, outside of my family, was political talk radio.
Yeah.
I mean, I constantly have it on.
Yeah.
Listening to it on my phone, in the car, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's amazing like how things become so habitual to you that you don't even realize.
Well, that's what happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you have that moment and you kind of discover it, it's like, all right, so how can I use this? How, like, it's not that God doesn't want us to worship other things. I mean, we're created for worship. And so it's just that he doesn't want anything worshiped more than him.
Correct.
Put before him.
Right.
And so let us know in the chat who do you worship? I mean, if you worship somebody, let us know. If you're feeling froggy, man, what is
You're on one a day.
What is up with me today, man?
It's because you got up at 5:30.
It might be, but let us know maybe how you worship, or even maybe you want to let us know what you're worshiping. A few shout outs. I finally pulled the chat back up for just a minute. We got Katie with us. We got Stacy, Sarah still with us, AJ, Jessica. And if I'm missing you, let us know in the chat, because it doesn't always show me everybody. And if you're on YouTube, put in the chat, man. Let us know that you're there. If you're on the app, let us know. Website, let us know that you're there. You can watch us on all of these spots. And so, Brandon, thank you so much for sharing that with us. You know, one of the things that we want to be on this show is we want to be transparent.
Correct.
Sometimes to a fault.
Right. You know, and so we do want to be careful, but we want to be transparent in a way that it motivates you, and that you understand that you are not alone in this fight, in this faith. And so I want to hit you with probably the most practical and most accurate way that I believe we can worship. And so, no, it's not a style. It's not a certain way. It's not hand raised, dancing, clapping. It's none of those things. It has nothing to do with whether you can sing or whether you can play an instrument. And you know, so often we think of instruments and music when we think of worship, but it's so much more than that.
So much more.
And that's kind of why when we were talking about like what do we want to talk about? We were talking about what we want to talk about, and we were talking about it, and now we're talking about it. Man, so we were talking about like topics that we want to discuss. I'm telling you, I'm on a whole nother level today, and I ain't even had no coffee. Could you imagine if I had coffee? Shout out to all those who have had their coffee this morning. So one of the big things that we wanted to talk about was worship, and we wanted to talk about it from the sense of style, but all the ways. And, you know, Brandon, you even hit on like we worship with our giving.
Yeah.
We can worship with our time. There's so many other things to worship other than music, but so often it gets summed up into just music. And so let's just look, you know, since we're talking about instruments, let's look at what Scripture says in Romans 6:13. And honestly, like I have read this passage, but it hit me different today. Here's what it says in Romans 6:13. Don't let any part of your body become an instrument of evil to serve sin. An instrument of evil to serve sin. Instead, give yourself completely to God, for you were dead, but now you have new life. So use your whole body as an instrument to do what is right for the glory of God. So I just want to ask you, put it in the chat today. Maybe you guys can. What kind of instrument are you right now? Like, that can be challenging. That can be hard to answer. What kind of instrument are you today? We got a special guest over here to our right that just lights up the whole room. What kind of instrument are you? Let us know in the chat. Maybe you guys, can you answer that?
I'd say as far as worship on Sundays, I'm one of the few worshiping with every limb. I'm using everything I got.
True statement. You're putting it all out there.
Everything but my forehead is getting used.
Yeah. Are you going to try that this week?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Headbutting a drum.
I about did last week when Marshall extended.
Oh, that was so good.
Honey in the Rock. I was about to jump out there.
Man, listen, if you didn't watch it, that was second hour, right?
Yeah, second hour.
Man, go check it out. As Cody said, the extended version of Honey in the
Director's
Rock.
cut.
That he didn't tell anybody about.
It
That was all ad lib on the fly, and he said, "What did he say?" I don't remember what he said. But in the moment, he said one little phrase that was supposed to cue everybody in. Hey, we're going again. And when he said it, I was like, "Come on!" And I was banging on everything I had in there.
Man, it was so good. Okay, so
speaking of last week, you talked about a song that you weren't really excited about, and I was actually sitting next to John during service, and man, you rocked it out.
Yeah,
even though you weren't a big fan of that song, so I was proud of you.
Well, thank you. I will say, first service it went by without a hitch. Second service, for anybody who doesn't know, sometimes we play with a click track to just keep us on time.
Yeah.
We're really playing. We're not lip singing or anything like that.
Thank you for clarifying that.
No Milli Vanilli up in there.
Yeah, it's just a click to keep us in time, and sometimes there's some ambient sounds in there. But for whatever reason, we started off the song for. I guess I'll give it up. It's "We Are Royals." I still can't stand that song.
And there's others that don't like it so much either.
Oh,
I'm just you're not alone there.
Okay, well, good. From the get-go, Marshall started off, and we were off that track immediately. So I thought, there it is. There's another notch in that belt of why I hate that song. But I'm glad somebody could worship to it. So.
Yeah,
we didn't pick it up out in the congregation, and me and John were watching. And I was like, "Look at this guy. He's rocking it out."
Yeah, it was great. Man.
It looked like you were having fun too.
I'm always having fun in there.
And that's important to worship. Have fun. Like, worship should not be pulling teeth. And there's going to be those moments. And we talked about it, I think, in week 1 of this, this worship series, I guess we can call it. You're not always going to want to worship. But you still need to worship. And so you guys ready for the big reveal of how we're supposed to worship? Listen, when this hit me this morning, I was like, oh, my goodness, this is... listen, I'm not smart enough to come up with this on my own. So you guys understand that this is directly from God. So if we are supposed to be an instrument, how are we supposed to worship? Cody, when you play the drums, what's making the music?
Caught me on the spot here. I guess the sticks and the drums themselves, but I'm swinging them. I guess.
Here's
you, dude.
Here's the thing, Cody. When you are playing the drums aren't making the music. The sticks, they're not making the music. Yeah. These are instruments, but they can do nothing without some help. And so, Cody, those drums, they don't make the music unless you put forth the effort. Like, if you don't pick those drumsticks up and you don't strike that drum, they don't make music.
You're right.
You have to put forth the effort. The drums won't play music by themselves. Now, sure, you can hit play on a track, or sure, a drum could fall over and make some noise.
I've had that happen too.
Yeah, but making music, it won't do it by itself without you participating.
And without the Lord.
Yeah, unless you participate in making actions with those drums, nothing happens. So you guys ready for how we worship? We participate.
That's it.
It's like mind-blowing, and it's so simple.
When that hit me this morning, I was like, holy smokes, that is, God, you're so good. Like, we try to put so much extra into it. Like, oh, it's not my style of music. I'm not getting anything from it. or I don't. It's too loud. I can't worship. No, you can.
You can.
You can. That's how we worship. We worship through participating. Maybe you think I didn't like that set today. What did you come expecting? Did you come expecting to worship, or did you come expecting your favorite song to be played? Did you come expecting to give God your everything, no matter what, or did you come hoping that you're appeased? We participate. That's how we worship. That's so deep to me, man.
But so simple at the same time.
Yeah, but not easy either.
No, it's not easy.
It's hard. So I actually like when you come to church and you don't like We Are Royals, but Cody, you worship through it.
I did,
and you made a difference to people in the congregation. Because even though you didn't want to, you participated. And because you participated, I think that set up what happened with Honey in the Rock.
Oh, yeah.
If you hadn't participated in the song you didn't like in We Are Royals, or it's same thing with you guys there, man. If there's a song you don't like, if you don't participate in it, yeah, you're basically shutting off the Holy Spirit. That's not something you want to do.
No.
And if I wouldn't, I mean, this isn't about me, but if I had been in the mindset of, oh, this is just another song, go through the motions, my mind wouldn't have been in a place where I could have received Marshall's phrase that took us into that extended version of Honey in the Rock. I'd have been just back there. I think lackadaisical. Is that a word?
Something like that.
A football coach told me that one.
Yeah, we're going to go with that.
Lackadaisical. If I'd have been just lackadaisically playing the drums, I could have missed that. And that I've been riding that high for 3 days now.
Yeah.
Of that moment when
it's
he
so
extended
good,
that
man.
song, that I don't know, man.
Yeah,
you just got to participate.
Yeah. So Jessica put in here, it's your spirit, bro, fed by Jesus and His power in you. That's so true. And
Come
then
on.
John Brunk, I'll be honest, I didn't care for it, but it praises God, so I can deal with it. Yeah,
that was my mentality.
Yeah, and so the thing is, we're not gonna like every single song. We don't all worship the same, but I promise you, if we participate. That's the key to it, participating in worship. So maybe you come to church. Maybe you're coming to church this Sunday. Let me just put it like this. You're coming to church this Sunday. And when you get here, you just don't feel like worshiping. I promise if you participate, you will.
Yep.
It goes back to what you said. You had the answer weeks ago, and I don't think we even realized it.
Right.
When you see somebody in the crowd, in the congregation with their hands in their pockets, just going through the motions.
Yeah.
When we're worshiping, that burns you up.
Yeah.
We had the answer all along. You
Right.
have to participate.
You got to participate. And so this isn't even in my notes. All right, you guys ready for this? I can't help but think about Paul and Silas when they were in prison for spreading the gospel, essentially. Their hands were chained. Their feet, they were chained. They were locked up. They were held captive. They were bound. And Scripture says they continued to sing hymns and sing praise.
Paul also wrote, 4 of his books while in prison?
Yeah. And so here's the thing that, like, again, mind blown. Like, I know this story. So as they were praising, there was a rattle. And what happened? The gates, they were open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The gate, they were freed. But not just them. Everybody was.
Wow.
So if you don't participate in worship, who are you stopping from being set free to?
Where did that me uncomfortable?
Like, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, so often we come in and we're like, oh, this ain't my song. I'll sing on the next one, or I'll sit here. But the thing we have to realize is that when we participate in worship, like you were saying, we had the answer the other day. People in their pockets frustrates us. But then when you got somebody like Sean Witt, who's up there,
let's go,
all during service, When you got somebody like that who's worshiping their face off,
you can't help but be inspired by it.
You then want to participate. You want some of that.
Yeah, and I think Cody, in some of his text messages to us earlier this morning, I was kind of the same way when I first got back into church, during worship. I was a guy sitting there, I was wanting to get down.
Yeah.
But, like, I was worried about who was going to see me. Like, look at this guy up here going crazy.
Yeah.
But in actuality, I saw everybody else, letting the Spirit take over them and worshiping the way they were doing. And, it kind of just set me free to be able to worship in the way that I enjoy worshiping now. And
what you just said.
Hopefully somebody will see me do it.
Your worship set you free.
Right.
Your worship will help set other people free too. And you think about the prison guard. Like when this happened, he was getting ready to take his life. And they yell like, no. Hey, everybody is still here. And then the next thing, it's lights come on. And so not only were they no longer held captive, but the one that held them captive is now saved too. And then his family gets saved. But if they would have just moped there in the prison, I'm locked up, woe is me, then all those other people would have never been set free. The prison guard would have never been saved. His family would have never been saved. And so I'm saying to you, all of you guys, participate in worship, and not just in service, not just on Sundays. Participate in worship all throughout the week.
Yeah.
Worship every day. Live a lifestyle of worship.
Whatever it is you enjoy doing,
yeah,
it's going to be that much more joy.
Yeah,
if you're doing it for the Lord.
Yeah, let's a couple of things from the chat here. Katie said, I struggle with this sometimes too. Just because I don't like a song or feel like God's speaking to me, that one might not be for me. He's touching someone else's heart. And so if we don't participate, whose blessing are we blocking? Oh, that's good. That's tweetable right there. Whose blessing are we blocking? And then Katie also said, it makes me change the perspective too. How can I help lead that person to Christ? This is good stuff. Hey, listen, I'm gonna pull out my phone here. We're at the end. You guys got anything you want to add to that? I want to see if maybe we can get a phone call in here. So if you got that number, it's on the screen there, 540-900-3838. 540-900-3838. Let's try giving it a call. We're going to take a call or two here. We're basically at the end of our show. But give us, yes, hey, Sean's energy is contagious. That's what John just said.
Absolutely.
That's our worship should be contagious.
So, Cody, real quick while we're waiting to catch up on the live feed, I guess.
Call that 540-900-3838.
Why don't you share the story that you texted us this morning?
To kind of hit on that, it was you can participate in the congregation, singing, dancing, whatever you feel like to do. But if you're not mentally there, which I struggled for a long time, it was just another church service. Let's get through this and go to lunch. I mean, it's awful, but that's the honest truth.
I've been there.
True.
Worship, I just wanted to get through it so I could sit down. I mean, that's as bad as it gets right there. But it's because I didn't have the mentality of a worshiper.
That's so good.
What did I say here? Let's find
it was good. I'm okay with you reading it word for word what you sent.
All right, so
it was too good.
This is what I said. For years, I just stood there and watched the lights and haze machines and tried to find someone playing the wrong chord because it passed the time until I could sit down. How sad is that? I wasn't mentally there, so how could the Holy Spirit meet me there? The quick answer is he couldn't. I had to let go of the I'm too cool to sing along to this ego before I could ever connect with God while worshiping. Now I want to worship the whole service because I'm participating, and when you participate, God reciprocates.
Oh, that's so good.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, put that on a shirt. Say it again, man.
What did I say? Now I want to worship the whole service because I'm participating, and when you participate, God reciprocates.
That is so true, man. All right, we're gonna give you just another minute. You got.
See, what's
got
crazy to me is that Cody's in our. We're actually all in a life group together, but. For 2 years, it's like pulling teeth trying to get Cody to say something in life group. And then all of a sudden we started this show, and every week it's like Pastor Cody coming in here with some deep stuff, man. I love it.
Yeah, Hannah, my wife, she actually said last week, she's like, man, Cody is really opening up. I was like, absolutely. Like, you're motivating me, man. I don't know if you realize that, but you are motivating me. And yeah, that's the thing about this show. Yes, we want to motivate you, but you guys are motivating us. We're motivating each other. This isn't a one-way street here. And
well, another thing about Cody too, which is really motivating me, is that Cody's always kind of opened up on a one-on-one level.
Yeah.
But like this type of stuff right here wasn't really his style. You know, it kind of like.
Oh yeah, I've always
kind of made you nervous or whatever the word is for that.
Well, it was always. I grew up in church, but didn't know church.
Yeah.
And we're here all the time now. I've let down those barriers to protect myself from whatever.
But I'm talking about even just like this show right here, like
I remember the first day, Cody, what you said at the end of it, and I knew that in that moment that this was for you. And Brandon, you were similar. You're like, man, I'll do whatever. But Cody, I'll never forget you. Like, dude, I'll turn a light on if I have to. I'll plug something up, but I got to be a part of this. And to be honest, that's how we should be about worship. That's how we should be about church. That's how we should be about our small groups. Like, I got to be a part of it. Like, whatever it is, I'll take the trash out. I'll
just want to participate.
I'll clean the toilet. I'll do whatever. I just want to participate, and that's worship. Participation is worship.
And it's not always about being, the usher who's out front that everybody sees.
The guy, the girl.
It's the behind the scenes stuff. All that stuff is just as important as being the guy up front, even the guy on the stage.
Yeah, I just had a thought. We need to end this show soon, and there's a couple comments that I want to mention. You're talking about this about the behind the scenes. What you guys are seeing online right now, you have no idea what this room looks like.
Can you call it a room?
I don't even know, man. There's a wall-ish.
I'm not even sure you can call it a closet.
Right. But here's the thing. Like, we're in this, I'm just going to say, we're in this junky, this messy room, and we're participating. You can participate in the middle of your mess. You can worship in the middle of your mess.
Amen.
And it can still be good.
We give them the same show inside of a mop closet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, listen, thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm going to try to catch up on a couple things. Stacy said it's taken some time to let go and worship freely instead of thinking about what others may think. And that's, I've realized in my years of ministry that's usually the number one block. It's like I'm afraid of what people will think.
At the same time, think about what your God might think too. If you're not
man, come on now, preach. We got Pastor Cody in the building today.
Like we said before, it's when you're worshiping. I mean, think about it. Like, literally say it like worshiping God. Like, it's a one-man audience.
Audience, absolutely.
Everybody else is,
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I don't care who's around me. If you get close enough, you might get hit when I'm worshiping. I'm just like, I lose my sense of control, and I give my everything to God in those moments. One more comment here, Barbara. I was in shock when I started Parkway because the worship style is so different for each person. I've been able to open up and worship my own way and not be afraid to lift my hands and close my eyes and belt out the lyrics. I love that. Like, I hope Pastor don't mind this. Like, Pastor, he worships.
He's singing.
Yeah.
He's singing and he's clapping. And while it might not always be on beat, ever, I don't know, but he's worshiping and he don't care. He don't care if he's on the beat or not. He's worshiping.
And he sets an example for everybody else.
Absolutely. And he's participating.
I'm sure he don't care that he's clapping off beat.
No, because he's participating.
Sure
He's worshiping. Yeah. I'm sure
like,
he has.
You know what?
I'm sure he has. Well, guys, we're a little over time today. I was stalling a little bit to see if anybody wanted to give us a call. Listen, you can call that number at any time. You don't have to call it right now. Again, the number is 540-900-3838. You can call, you can text anytime throughout the week. I'm pretty sure I got it set up to ring all of our phones. If you want to get up with us or text us, there's the number. So let us motivate you. Maybe you can motivate us. Let us know what you want to talk about. Again, next week, join us, Chris's Coffee. 2 lucky people will get their coffee or their lunch free. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Listen, if you put something in the comment or your name didn't pop up, I'm not ignoring you. Sometimes the comments and the names don't show up until after the show. I'm not sure why. Listen, share this right now. Go ahead, click that share button. Maybe somebody is struggling with their worship right now. Maybe they don't know what worship is, how to worship. So go ahead and share that. Share this right now with them, and maybe this will motivate them. So, again, text 540-900-3838. You can even call it. Man, you guys got anything you guys want to add before we end the show today?
I just want to say, you guys join us live on set next Wednesday.
Yep.
Chris's Custard.
Yep. Come on. It's going to be good.
Chicken salad's good, I hear.
Oh, man. It is so good. I'm picky on my chicken salad, but I'm telling you, that was good. Sean's had it.
Let's go.
Hey, don't forget to look for Lil John. He's going to be around here somewhere on Sunday and get you some free coffee. Join us at Chris's Coffee and Custard. Get you a free meal, free coffee there as well. Man, this has been great. I love this. I love that we get to do this every week to motivate each other and motivate you guys. This is, again, not a one-way street.
We just had one more in the chat I got to say.
Go for it.
Tristan Marsh Webb. Hey, guys, it's been a while since I caught a midweek motivation. Well, thank you for jumping on.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, sometimes the comments show on mine, sometimes they don't. That's why we got multiple people on it. Listen, if you're on YouTube, I do encourage you, download our app, watch us on there, follow us, subscribe, turn on notifications, all the good stuff. Listen, this has been Midweek Motivation. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to share this on your page.